A couple days ago I did a clip about Rex Carr and some of my thoughts about Rex Carr. And since then I've thought some more about it. And I picked up this book, The Retriever Game by Boyd Gibbons. I remember when he wrote it a number of years ago. But I was paging through it and I noticed, it's called The Retriever Game, I noticed some quotes by Rex Carr that I think you would be interested in, as they outline exactly how I feel about training. You know, once again, we talk about Carr-based programs. Rex Carr was a philosophy, not a bunch of drills and individual tests. It's a philosophy of training. And some of these things I agree very strongly with. So I thought I'd read a couple of lines that I stumbled on. So this is a quote now. Rex shifted in his chair and said, "Write this down and underline it. When dogs make mistakes, don't hold it against the dog. Point the finger at yourself." So now I've been saying this to people that I work with for years. Whatever your dog is doing, it's because of you. Dogs aren't by nature hard-headed, or why does he always do that to me? Or every time I go to a field trial, he does the same thing to me. Dogs don't do things to people. Dogs are a product of what we do with them in our training process. A couple more lines here that I think are important. He says, that first little step is the source of all creeping. You take care of that first step and correct it, and you don't have to deal with creeping or breaking later. These trainers, he's talking about the current professional trainers of that day. These trainers let something get out of hand, and then they butcher the dog. Who wants that? Slowly he sat back down. In other words, what he's saying, don't wait till something gets to be an enormous problem and then come down on the dog. Deal with it in its infancy, when it's a little baby, before it gets so out of control that it takes a miracle practically to stop it. Trainers today don't train their dogs enough. They take shortcuts and try to cure everything with that button, meaning the electric collar. Too many people look at the collar as a panacea. It isn't. So, once again, the electric collar doesn't teach dogs. It reinforces what we've already taught dogs, and that is a very, very critical and common mistake. People have this thing in their hand that they can make a dog react to at long range, and they think somehow they're going to teach dogs because they have an electric collar, and that's not true. You teach dogs and then reinforce what you've taught them with the electric collar. Also, Rex says, it's impossible to make things too simple for the dog. Teach them first before you test them. Teach them over and over. Once again, you teach, then reinforce, then practice. Rex says, these dogs will be consistent, but only as long as you are consistent. How does Larry Bird do what he does? For you young people, Larry Bird was a great basketball player, and he was the star of the day. And these dogs will be consistent, but only as long as you are consistent. How does Larry Bird do what he does? It's practice, practice, repetition, repetition. While the other guys are back there loafing in the locker room, he's out there practicing his shots. If you don't love dogs, forget it. You can't hide your emotions from them. It's important to start your dogs in a good frame of mind and put them away at the end of the day in a good frame of mind. So A couple more thoughts about Rex Carr and his training philosophy. And I'm just pointing this out because I want you to think about these things when you talk about a Carr-based training program. The best trainers teach, reinforce, and practice. And it's true in every sport, not just our sport, but every sport. The best of the best train the most. Michael Jordan, now it's Jordan Spieth. In golf, the best trainers and the best competitors are the ones that work the hardest and practice the most. So, once again, if you're watching this any place but on my blog, go over to the blog. Please leave me a comment. I want to know what you have to say about all this. And have a great day.